Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another What I Eat in a Day. Thank you so much for continuing to log on and join me for a fantastic day of food, and one which has actually started at the very beginning point of my day. I've just got back in off the school run, put my comfies on. I had joggers on before that, which was the dream, but it's actually quite cold today, so I feel like jeans might be a better shout because I have to go and pick Lila up again later and I don't want to be changing, so I'll put my joggers back on later. But I'm already dreaming about the afternoon coffee with my joggers and just being so comfortable. But let's talk about food, because that is, let's face it, why you guys are here. So haven't had breakfast yet. I'm thinking about having something small. I'm not overly hungry this morning. I think it's because I have my dinner quite late tonight, so I think a banana and a coffee is going to be a good shout for me today to start my day off. And then lunchtime is where things get a little bit more interesting. So last night I whipped up my harissa lamb Turkish pizza, which I adore. I love it. I have one in the freezer, which is fantastic. I'm so excited to have that on a rainy day. But also I have a nice big bowl of the spicy lamb mix that I make, and this is really versatile. I could have it with eggs, I could have it as meatballs, I could have it with rice. It's just a really fantastic one. I could have it with burgers, as you saw in a previous What I Eat in a Day, on some flatbread. So there are just so many things you can do with it, and it's so flavorful. And I did get a lot of questions about, could you substitute it for other meats like, I don't know, beef, pork? Of course you could, and it would be much better for you because lamb is quite a fatty meat, but obviously as I'm in maintenance I'm not overly fussed about that. But I'm having some of that for lunch, not much of it, and I'm thinking about doing it with an egg on a flatbread situation. It's going to be delicious. And then for tonight I'm going to make a red curry, which I haven't had in ages, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So that's going to be a chicken red curry. And yes, it should be a really lovely day of food, perfect for batch cooking, perfect for families, and I hope you'll enjoy it. And of course, you know, these recipes also fit in very well with takeaways, especially the dinner tonight with it being a curry, and also the lamb spicy mix. As I said, you could do just so many things with it. So yeah, it's a good one. I will link everything that I'm wearing down below. This cardigan is from ASOS. I can't remember the brand. I'll try and link it. It's relatively new. I bought it in the last few months. I would say in the last 3 months or so. That's new to me nowadays because I'm just not overly shopping as much as I used to. This is a recent find from Primark, this aubergine t-shirt, which I really love, and these are my bog standard Topshop skinnies that I wear all the time, along with my Ugg slippers. So yeah, very, very comfy outfit today. Makeup is very minimal owing to the fact that I'm at home, so I hope you all enjoy it. So yeah, let's get on with the day. Along with my banana, I'm going to have some blackberries. Blackberries are my absolute favourite. I could munch on them all day long. And I have some raspberries as well. I'm just going to wash a few of those. Just so it makes my breakfast a little bit more substantial than just a banana. Again, I'm just not overly hungry today, but I do like to have some fruit just to waken my body up, get everything going. So yeah, I'm just going to give these a little rinse. Will you take part in my life? My love, that is my dream. I think what a dream is what you make it. Always try to give, don't ever take it. Life is but a dream. It's my favourite time, lunchtime. So I mentioned last night that I whipped up some of this spicy lamb mix. This is actually still raw, it's still sat in the marinade, so I'm going to have to cook this up, but it's absolutely delicious. By the way, these silicone lids, I use them all the time. You guys see I have them in a variety of different sizes, and they're just so ideal for keeping things like this airtight and air fresh. Like honestly, I'll link them down below. I get them from Amazon and they're super handy. I put them over tins, fruit bowls. It just saves on cling film and tin foil and that kind of thing. They're just so affordable. It's so much better for the environment. So I'll link those down below in case you are interested. But again, this is a spicy lamb mix that I make, and you can do so much with this, guys. You could make like harissa meatballs out of it, little kebabs. You can make burgers out of it. You can have it on flatbread like I've done before, in sandwiches. The possibilities are literally endless. You could cook this up and have it with rice and you'd be a very happy bunny indeed. But today, I think I'm going to cook a little bit of it up. I'll kind of give you a point roundup in a moment because I kind of already know, because I made it from scratch, what's gone into it. I also have some spinach here. So I'm going to cook a little bit of that because I haven't had any greens recently. And also I have a couple of eggs. So I'm thinking about doing like an egg situation with this meat, with some bread. I think that would be really nice. I also have some of this tiger tail loaf as well that I need to get eaten. So it's going to be very much a mishmash together of loads of different flavours and different things, but I love lunches like this. They're one of my favourites. So I'm going to get some of this sectioned out now. I'll probably have about a quarter of this if I'm honest, because it is actually quite thick and quite bountiful. I've just popped some of the meat into here, and this has so much in it, guys. Like, a lot of this is actually not just lamb, it's like parsley, tomato, and lots of different herbs and spices. There's shallots in here as well. So I'm just going to gently cook this down, and I've not added any oil at all because this already has oil in the marinade. But if you wanted to make sure it didn't stick, you could use a tiny bit of fry light, but honestly you really don't need to, especially when you're cooking with lamb. And then the rest of the lamb mix is going to go in the freezer for another time. I'm completely honest, this would go better with fried eggs. I don't like my eggs fried, so I'm going to put mine straight in and kind of scramble them within the lamb and the rest of the herbs and spices. You could bake this as well. That might be a nice idea if you like to bake your eggs, but I'm not a massive fan of yolk, but I don't want to skip on them because I kind of need the calories if I'm honest. So I'm just going to kind of scramble these up into a makeshift scrambly egg situation. But again, I think they'd look nicer and more presentable if you fried them. But honestly guys, this smells so delicious. It's such a quick and easy lunch as well. And full of washed spinach too. Of course you could skip on this spinach, or you could just have it on the side of the plate, but I quite like my spinach warm and cooked, and I think it's going to complement this really well. This isn't going to be the best looking dish in the world, but I can guarantee you it'll be one of the most delicious. Alrighty, so I have my bread here, and I'm going to get my barcode scanner out because I can never quite remember how many points this is. And this is just an easier way of being accurate. Oh, that's probably why I can't remember. It's not on here. So I'm going to use it as if it was the little tiger loaf. So I'm just going to type that in. So I might pop a couple into the toaster. So I'm just going to check what this is in regards to grams. So that is 47 grams, which comes to 4 points. So I'm going to track that. Always try to give. Don't ever take it. I just wanna dream. It's what you make it. Always try to give. Don't ever take it. I just wanna dream. It's what you make it. Always try to give. Don't ever take it. Life has its music. Life has its song. This is lunch, and although it might not look the most appetizing, guys, I can promise you this is absolutely delicious. I have 1 point of cheese on here as well, which is 5 points for that, and I mark my harissa lamb at 3 points because I know exactly what's gone into it, exactly how much mince I've used. So it's a really delicious one. I know that it's took a little bit of time and effort, a little bit of prep, but honestly it's absolutely wonderful, and I cannot wait to dig in. So the heating has clicked on automatically, which means it's that time where I go and get Layla on the school run. It is so cold, honestly, today. I just feel like we have a bit of sun, we feel like we're getting close to spring, and then we have the coldest day after it that it just feels like it's winter all over again. But yeah, I'm gonna head out and go and get Layla, head back, have a coffee. I don't know if I'll have an afternoon snack because my lunch was really filling, so I'm just not that hungry, but I know when I get back I'll want a warm drink. So I'll have one of my Nescafe sachets as usual. I get asked about them a lot. I will link them in the description box down below because I get this from Amazon, from the same person every time, the same seller, really reliable, Amazon Prime, great price. And then once I've had that, the prep for dinner will start. And as I mentioned before, I'm making a red curry, a chicken red curry, which I'm very excited about. It's gonna have coconut milk, it's gonna have chili and lots of lovely spices, and it's gonna be great for a cold day like today. So I hope you all enjoy that. But for now, let's hit the road. Life has its music, life has its song, life has its music, life has its song. All set to make dinner, guys, and this is going to kind of come in 2 stages. So the first thing I need to do to make this curry is to prepare my curry paste. Now I do this all in my food processor. I do it completely from scratch. I use the Maggi Mix. I cannot recommend it enough. I will link it down below. Not too expensive either, and just a really fantastic machine. So to do the paste, you're going to need some shallots, a red chilli. You can use more or less depending on the heat intensity. You're going to need a lime and a lemon, some fresh ginger, an assortment of herbs and spices, and some garlic as well. And then to make the actual curry, you're going to need some coconut milk. I'm using the light, some skinless chicken breast, some tomatoes, some coconut oil, some chicken stock. I have a stock pot, and an onion. So all of this stuff here, apart from the tomatoes, gets blitzed in the processor, and that becomes our curry paste, which we then add to water, coconut milk, and stock, and with the chicken to make the whole entire curry. Honestly, guys, this recipe is delicious. I got it from the Minimalist Baker. I will link it down below, but let's get started. So first off, everything kind of goes into one pot, which is another reason why I really like this recipe. So I'm going to add my herbs and spices first. And even though all of these vegetables are all going in the processor, I do like to chop them up just to give my blade an easier time with making sure that everything goes into a fine paste. So I'm going to pop 3 shallots in there as well. You can use onion, but the recipe does call for shallots, and I actually think shallots have a nice sweet flavour. I also have a chili here that I'm going to de-seed. Now you can skip this step. The only issue is it won't be really as authentic as it could be. So a way I get around it is just by removing the seeds. If you remove the seeds, you're removing a lot of the heat. I mean, it still will have a degree of heat, but just nowhere near the amount as if you kept the seeds in. So I'm just going to remove those very carefully, and when I have, I'm going to wash my hands straight away, because I've made the mistake, guys, of de-seeding chilies and then not washing my hands straight after, and then getting myself into a situation. 2 ingredients I completely forgot to mention, as you're going to need a red pepper. It's very important that it's a red pepper, and also one of the key ingredients, you're also going to need some fresh lemongrass. You can use puree if you don't have it in, but fresh is always better. Just going to shatter the fibres of my lemongrass and pop that straight into my processor in 2 halves. And I have some fresh ginger that I'm just going to coin. I don't completely take all of the skin off my ginger, because I don't really think that you need to. And I'm all for keeping the skins on a lot of fruit and veg, if I'm completely honest. So I'm just going to put these into coins so that they're easier for the blade. Again, I'm going to pop all of that in, and that is everything when it comes to making my paste. And then once I switch this on, it will turn into the most vibrant red curry paste, and then it'll be done, and it's absolutely delicious. And you can even freeze this for future curries. You can do a big batch of it. I will put, again, the recipe to this in the description box down below, because this is a fantastic foundation and base for a lot of other dishes, not just a red curry. Paste is prepared. It is ruby red, and it smells so fragrant. It smells absolutely delicious, and again, you could do double the quantity and have a portion tucked away in the freezer for future curries. About half the can, and what I like to do is watch the consistency play out. If I feel the need to add more, then I will do, but I think half a can should be about right. So the curry is sat, and it's going to simmer simmer, I'll bring it to a boil, and then I'll pop the lid on and I'll put it on a low heat and just let it sit. Meanwhile, I'm going to make some rice, but I'm actually going to flavour it with the second lemongrass I have, because this was a reduced one, which meant it needed eating today. So I'm going to make lemongrass rice, which is basically my normal rice, but instead of having water and oil in the pan, I'm going to shatter the fibres of this and pop this in, and it's just going to make it that much more fragrant. Obviously I don't want this to go to waste, so I'm going to do that. But again, meanwhile, this curry now, which has come to the boil, is going to be reduced down on a low heat, and it's going to thicken up. It's going to be delicious. Honestly, even the scent of this curry alone is enough to make your taste buds sing. It's such a zingy, fresh little number. It's so flavourful, and it does take a bit of effort, but if you get everything ready at the beginning and put it all into the processor, there's not that much to do. It's just as easy as opening a jar, really, if you get everything ready in advance. Even though it's only 4 points for my curry so far, I'm going to have one of these flatbreads. I absolutely love these. These are 5 points each, and they're super soft and delicious. And I'm going to have a small portion of rice as well, just because I won't eat a full flatbread and a ton of rice. I'm going to have a small portion of rice and one of these that are absolutely delicious. If you haven't tried these, you really must go and try them. Hi guys, so as you can see, it's very much the next day now, and I wanted to end the video properly. So last night's dinner was absolutely delicious. We love that dish because it goes a really long way. We actually have 3 portions in the freezer as well, which is pretty incredible. Obviously it's a low point one as well. You only have to factor in your oil and your coconut milk, which is pretty incredible, because we use lighter coconut milk as well. So it really is a great one. You're not compromising on taste, you're not compromising on flavour. It's a really tangy one because of the lemongrass. It's really creamy and silky because of the coconut milk, and then you have those tangy, exciting flavours with the ginger, the garlic and the chilli. Honestly, a must try for sure. I had it with a flatbread, which was 5 points. I also had 5 points worth of rice as well, which was 10, and I factored in my sauce at 3 points because the chicken was skinless chicken breast and is a 0 hero. So again, really low point value, especially if you just had the sauce with some cauliflower rice or something like that. You don't have to have a 5 point flatbread. Again, I'm on maintenance. I was completely happy to do that. But you could have a 3 point flatbread, no flatbread at all. It really is customizable, and also again, you could substitute the rice for cauliflower rice or something like that. It's so delicious. I really hope you guys can go on and try it. I'll put the recipe that I used in the description box down below, along with anything I was wearing throughout the video, anything throughout the home I think you might have been interested in, like kitchenware and things like that. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm actually recording a what I eat in a day today as well, where I'm going to be whipping up my homemade meatballs, so I hope you're all looking forward to that and will enjoy it. And thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Of course, subscribe if you're new to see these every other day from me, and I'll see you in my next one.